This video simulates a research proposal done by a final year nursing student, Miss Sina Tanimia, with the help of her colleagues, namely Ferrol Kavaya, Nerolyn Matthew, Grace Benjamin, Jimmy Guting, Kantake Tokatake, Zerem Alependava, and Joyce Wally. The title of this study is The Perception of Pacific Adventist University Senior Nursing Students Regarding the Clinical Challenges. The purpose of this research is to acknowledge different challenges encountered by nursing students, which not only affect their self-esteem, but their opportunities to learn and work effectively in a clinical environment. Several literature has identified globally certain key challenges faced, addressing students' concerns about what they were experiencing, and also looks at what it would be like in the working field after nursing students graduate. Hospitals, clinics, and health centers referred to as clinical learning environments, and is defined as an interactive network of forces within the clinical setting that influences clinical learning by students. In the clinical settings, students experience a good number of benefits, but at the same time, it can be challenging, unpredictable, and stressful. Clinical challenge refers to the negative feelings triggered by certain situations, such as unhelpful staff, unsupervised procedures, patients screaming at the students, and nurses scolding the students. These challenges usually have major effects on trust and attitudes towards the students' learning practice. A growing number of nursing students encountered clinical challenges is a problem faced globally and is discovered to be a similar trend in Papua New Guinea. Many students have left the profession as a result of challenges faced during their clinical. In order for the nursing education to be student-centered, it is important that students' perception of the clinical challenges are considered. However, nothing has been documented in the nursing education of PNG, and little is known about what students believe in regard. Therefore, the aim of this study is to explore challenges faced by PU senior nursing students during their clinical practice, and the results will contribute to the School of Health by providing evidence for a need to close supervision from the school's clinical tutors and registered nurse preceptors. This is a qualitative study using the content analysis approach. This method is suitable to use because rich and deep information can be obtained. The focus is on the opinions of the selected participants, aiming at understanding challenges faced from their perspective. The study population of this research will include the senior undergraduate, nursing students, both female and male students who are currently residing in both men's residence and ladies' residence. The study population comprises of 10 students in total, 5 from the third year and 5 from the final years.
The most appropriate sampling method that will be used is the per-possessive sampling technique, PST. The method is recommended to use in a qualitative study. The senior students are selected because they have more clinical exposure, while the first and second years have very little experience.
For this study, the researchers will ask Mrs. Kono, who is our clinical coordinator, to take the third and fourth year logbooks to basically identify those students struggling to complete their procedures and write their challenges faced on reflective section at the back of the clinical logbooks. As the sample frame, the teacher will then use the class roll from the 2 classes to pick 4 identified participants. Also, information sheet and consent form will be given to each participant prior to the interviews for their consent. Data will be collected through a one-to-one interview using 5 semi-structured questions. The interview will last for 60 minutes, allowing each participant to speak for 6 minutes. A tape recorder will be used to record all conversation, and also the researcher will jot down important points frequently mentioned on a notebook. For data analysis, the researchers will use Collage's 7-step method to process and analyze all data. This involves listening to the recorded data over 5 times while capturing the overall view of what has been recorded. The researcher will then transcribe the identical word for word into a standard template using Microsoft Word document. In areas where participants frequently mention certain challenges faced, the researcher will organize and use that data to form major themes which has been categorized into sections using color codes, all depending on the number of themes created. Since the research team is adopting only 6 steps of Collage's method and is intending to hold 1 round of interview, participants will be reapproached from time to time just to validate any truth. Finally, the most prominent findings will be identified, interpreted, and concluded. This prospective study is done as an assessment task. Therefore, It will be ethically approved by the Pacific Adventist University Research Ethical Committee. Then a copy of the approved proposal with an attachment letter of notice will be delivered to the Pacific Adventist University School of Health Science for student participation and the use of lecture room for data collection.